TimeFlies podcast. To the left of me, you guys are going to see a familiar face. The original member of the TimeFlies gang, my boy Mike, is in the building.
Sir.
Ooh, that was a good one, boy.
Pop.
That was a good one, boy. How you been? How's everything?
Chilling, man. You know, regular. 1-2. Maintaining.
Trying to
Same old shit.
trying to stay warm in these fucking New York cold streets.
We were just, talking about this offline, but 35 degrees feels like springtime. It's a fucking problem.
Facts.
The coldest shit I ever experienced.
If you guys, whoever's listening to this, if you're not from the East Coast, first and foremost, thank you so much for tuning in. But yeah, if you're not from the East Coast and in the winter, if it's like 30 degrees, shit, even like 25 degrees, it feels
I'll take 27. I'll take a good 27.
It feels like spring.
Yeah.
So, before we move on, before we talk about today's topic, obviously, I want to say thank you to everyone who's been tuning in to the podcast on YouTube or on the audio side of it. Also, the social media. Social media, bro, I got 2,000 followers.
Let's go.
And low key, I've been doing Instagram since 2017, bro.
Yeah.
The Instagram account has taken different iterations, but like I always wanted to get to at least 1,000 followers, because like I wanted, as much as like it's kind of shallow of me to say that like, oh, I want people to follow me, right? Whatever. Everybody's a little shallow in this world.
But you have a business, you have a podcast, so.
I mean, hopefully one day I can make this into a business.
That's how you gotta think about it.
Facts. But yeah, I mean, no, it's just really cool to see that. I was on it earlier today posting some stuff and I saw 2K. I was like, whoa,
Let's go.
that's awesome. So if you guys are following, thank you, man. If you guys are following on the social medias, thank you so much. Instagram, timeflies.1221, and everything else is timeflies1221 without the dot. But my boy,
I'm mad slow, but I never realized that the 1221 was you.
my birthday.
Yeah, I didn't realize that that's the tie-in. I always did. But yeah.
Just something basic. Nah, it's all good, bro.
Threading the needle.
I always gotta check in with you. How are the girls? How's the family? How are you?
Regular, bro.
Yeah?
Regular. No, life is life.
Maintaining,
Complaints.
pushing
That's
through.
It, just pushing.
I'm glad you're in good health, my boy. And you know what it is. So in today's episode, we're talking about J.Cole's last album with an asterisk,
Yes, sir.
because we're not sure if it's his last album, but we're talking about the FallOff. But Mike, before we talk about the actual album, what I want to talk to you about, how did we get here? How did we get to this album? What events occurred that made this album so hyped and people were wanting for it? So having said that, of course we gotta start off with.
What a journey.
Yeah, we gotta. I'm gonna. If you want to start somewhere else, let me know. But I was gonna start off with the beef that popped off.
That's where it starts.
Okay.
We would have gotten this album 2 years ago if it wasn't for that.
Facts. So the beef that kind of changed hip hop, which was 2 summers ago now, which is crazy to think. We're talking about Kendrick and Drake. So J.Cole had a featured guest verse on Drake's album, and the song was called First Shooter. And J.Cole's verse, I believe, is the one where he mentions the big three.
Yep. That's where.
And then Kendrick, a few months later, hopped on Metro Boomin and Future's album.
The big three.
Yeah, hopped on Future and Metro Boomin's album. What was it called again?
I don't trust you.
I Don't Trust You.
We don't trust you. I don't.
One of those
Good
two.
album, though.
Absolutely. And then Kendrick. Damn, what was the name? Oh, crazy. What's the name of the song?
Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
It's just so much has happened within that it's hard to like.
Especially that concentrated period of time.
Yeah.
Diss tracks back and forth.
Absolutely. So then Kendrick has a verse on that track, and he comes out and straight up just like, yo, fuck the big three. There's no big three. It's only Big Me. And the whole verse is pretty much him going at Drake. And us as an audience, 2 years later, we know what has happened.
Yeah.
But that is kind of what popped off that whole situation. Okay, so now a couple of months after that Kendrick verse, J.Cole comes out. Stop me anywhere if I'm messing up or if I left out a detail. So J.Cole comes out later and he drops like a mini mixtape. And it's called Might Delete Later. And and the very last track of that mixtape is called 7 Minute Drill. And that entire track he's dissing Kendrick.
Yeah.
But 24, 48 hours later,
Yeah.
he deletes it. And he was actually on tour at the time, I believe.
Yeah.
And
Schoolboy was on with him, I think. Remember? Like,
on the tour?
Yeah.
Okay. And then J.Cole, on one of his tour stops, it went viral that he literally like stopped the concert. He's talking to the audience, and he's like, "Hey, I want to take this time to publicly apologize to K-Dot." And he's like, "Listen, man, I didn't know what was going on, and I just want to apologize, and I want to bow out from what's going on, from what is about to really happen between you." He's talking to Kendrick right now. Between you and Drake. So he apologized.
Yeah.
So before we move on from there, that moment right there, that really put J. Cole in the spotlight, and not in a really
favorable way.
Yeah, exactly, not in a favorable.
But I
favorable
disagreed
way.
with the majority opinion of that.
Talk to me.
Like, because and I still have this back and forth with certain people, certain friends of mine who also love hip hop, because obviously we come from an era, and the eras before us even more so, where if you get down on that microphone. When someone calls you to the yard, you come out and you address it. So a lot of people held him to that, especially because, in all fairness, a lot of his bars are, I'm better than you as a rapper, which he is better than the majority of rappers, and he keeps getting fucking better. But, so everyone's stance was like, oh, so you were bluffing this whole time. So they, a lot of people hopped off the Cole train. Me personally, I thought it was some real shit of him to do. Because, what's funny to me too is like these other rappers jump in, and it's like, you can jump up to get put back down by Cole. The only reason Cole jumped out of this one is because he has two real relationships with the both of them.
Right.
And he probably knew from the inside, these two dudes don't fuck with each other, and it's about to be a mess. He might not have known the degrees that it was going to, but he knew in his heart of hearts, that's not where he was at with it. Right. And so I see nothing wrong with the fact that he kind of stepped away from that. My one thing with that whole situation, I just wish that he would have never even did the 7-minute drill. Like, I wish he would have just, because you can tell by the 7-minute drill, if Cole puts his mind to writing a verse, he's destroying shit. That record was not that. His heart was not in that shit, you could tell. He was battling with himself. And I think that was a moment where you saw him succumb to like the pressures of, the kind of the place where he is with everyone like, oh, because I remember there were people saying, of all three of them, Cole's gonna come out the strongest. That was like a real conversation.
Yeah, no, absolutely, I remember.
And I think, he gave in, he faltered, but you could tell he was never in it like that.
So you're talking about even in the actual track of 7-minute drill, you were like, it's not really.
I knew he could have went harder. Because Cole, when he puts his mind to a verse, he fucking knocks shit down. And so you could just tell by he was boxing the kid gloves. He knew Kendrick was his man. He didn't want to do that. So I wish he would have just made the call before that, because that's what really looked kind of crazy, is him taking that and taking that stretch and then pulling back on it. If he would have just from jump in like, I want no parts of this too. Maybe not get into detail, then.
But he might. But I mean, we'll never know. Maybe somebody will let us know, hopefully. But maybe he really found out information a half hour after he put out Might Delete Later, right? That literally could have happened.
No, I think something came to his attention where it was like, this shit is about to get stupid. This shit's about to, and it did. It went to a look because
probably someone from Kendrick's camp told him.
Exactly. It's that type of shit. And I always got the vibe way before any of that shit happened that those two dudes really just didn't like each other. I don't know what it was. I remember, Kendrick and not to, go too far into this because whatever, but Kendrick when he did like the BT Hip Hop Awards Cypher.
I'm about to crack the Da Vinci Code. Benefit. I got my thumb on hip-hop and my foot in the back of your ass. Aftermath get the last laugh. I serve like Master Jeffrey. Jump on this curb, turn the shotty to a verb. If you let me, you know I'm a killer. I'm on your head, you know I'm a killer. The West Coast, Costa Nostra, under oath till it's over. You're over O's. So what the I fuck you up, up. She sucking, I fucking duck you. It's like when I want. You go at us, you going nuts, acting irrational. Pop you then pop an Adderall. Know the drill like a lateral. I'm more Pappy Mason and Pastor Mason, pacing back and forth, racing my thoughts on embracing daisies.
And even with the control verse and Drake's reaction, you could tell there was a different level of disdain between the two of them. You had the King Kunta verse, and they've been barring back at each other for a long time, and it never seemed friendly. So,
but you know what's also a little weird about that is that, we were talking about ASAP before recording this. Like, Drake had ASAP, and I think we were on the same tour, the Paradise Tour?
Yeah, that was his whole thing. What did he say in Club Paradise? No, it wasn't Club Paradise, but that was the name of the tour. But he said it on another record. I think it was 4 p.m. in Calabasas. That people were trying to pressure him to take other people, and he said, no, I want Kendrick and Rocky.
Oh, right. Okay, I do remember that now, yeah. Some like people in this camp were trying to get other artists.
Yeah.
Got it, yeah. But like, it's just weird because Drake is having these beef with ASAP. He's having this beef with Kendrick. But like, there was a point in time where they were friendly, where they were cordial, where they were like, I mean, to a certain extent.
You know why though? And that's why.
It's business. I don't know.
Because that was the fake friends era of hip hop. That was them coming off the era of, if you're Dipset, G-Unit, you're all beefing with each other. So they I think tried to do things a different way, where it's like, oh, we're all buddies, and they weren't really all buddies. Like, Cole was probably the only genuine one who really fucked with these dudes like that. The rest of them were low key competing with each other, but acting, chummy and smiling with each other. But I don't think it was ever really like that. They just made it seem like it was.
True. I think we'll talk about this a little later, but it's kind of interesting too because in this album, Cole takes some shots, and there's a shot at Drake, I think, and it's in the 39 intro. I'm definitely gonna bring up the lyrics later in this podcast, but I just wanted to throw that to your attention. Okay, so now going back to the moment in time where J.Cole, he apologizes and he takes back the diss, 7-minute drill, he takes it off the mic to leave later. Okay, help me out here. From that moment on, Cole is like, we know that he's around, but he's not really dropping anything,
He's not dropping. Actually, the weird thing is that he popped up in a very peculiar place not long after that, and I think it was on the second project of Future and Metro Boomin. Remember, he had the verse, Red something, Red Dread, I forget. He had a verse that I think was recorded prior to the whole shit going down, but that's the next place that I think you hear from Cole.
So he was on, I think it's called I Still Don't Trust You.
Yeah,
so he was on that one.
He was on that one.
Let me look it up right now, but okay.
Yeah.
So he was on that. So from there, then it's not really much, right?
Bike around. Yeah.
Okay, so it's not really much.
Not a lot going on.
Okay, so I'm going to the track list right now. I'm looking for J.Cole. The last track on the first disc is called Red Leather.
Red Leather, that's what it is.
So that's where he popped up. Rocky was on the second disc. He was on track 6 called Show of Hands. So
where he was taking a shot at Drake.
Really?
Yeah.
I gotta go back to these albums. The first one was fire.
That one was.
This one. The second one was kind of like. The second one was it more like an R&B joint? It had like a more like R&B feel to it.
That's what they were going for.
Okay. So now going back to Cole. Okay, so after that placement that he had on that track, Red Leather, up until more recently, Cole, we don't really see him.
Into the dark.
Okay, we don't really see him. We don't really hear of him until a week or two prior to the FallOff dropping.
Yeah, this is what he does.
And what did we get? Yo, that shit was a bomb,
we got
bro.
a flute tape.
Sheesh.
Flute tape, that's what we got.
Blizzard, was it not Blizzard mixtape?
The Birthday Blizzard.
Thank you. Birthday Blizzard 26, and he's paying homage to
the flute tapes, DJ Clue. I mean, he had Locks beats on there, man.
That was
that
fire,
was
boy.
lyrical exercise. That was like him, and that's another. That's when you saw a lot of people coming out like, oh, where was this during the beat? Like, shut the fuck up. Just enjoy good rapping. Well, it's still fucking here. But he was going crazy. He obviously, he went crazy on Victory. If you rap over that beat, you already know the bar that's set. For me, it was the Money, Power, Respect that he just went crazy.
Yeah, That's the last one, right?
Yes.
99 Bill?
Yes,
Yeah.
99 Bills.
So the first one's a victory beat.
Stupid.
The first one's a victory beat. That's Bronx Zoo.
Mhm.
The second one, do you remember which one it was? What beat? I forgot.
Can I Live?
Can I Live? That's the Golden Goose freestyle.
Yeah.
The third one is Winter Storm freestyle. Do you remember the instrumental that he rapped over? Who Shot Ya? And then the last one, Money, Power, Respect, which is the 99 Bill freestyle. Yes, I'm with you. The Money, Power, and Respect. He went absolutely ape shit,
He
bro.
found different pockets in all of those beats, because obviously that shit I grew up on. I know the original records word for word, and he found pockets in that beat that I was like, yo, somehow Cole made a way to make this sound iller than just like a freestyle over a beat. He found, man, he was just going crazy.
What's like, so if you've been a Cole fan since he popped off, basically, one of the things that you might have gathered from him is that he's an avid hip hop fan.
Yep.
He respects the history, he respects the culture, and if you're not familiar with the DJ Clue mixtapes run back in the day, they had pretty significant value to hip hop and the game. And
That was
yeah.
the thing.
So basically, if you were able to hop on a DJ Clue mixtape, you were like pretty much hot shit at the time.
Yep.
And also depending on where you were on the mixtape,
Yep.
if you were on the first 5 tracks, the back half, that's a whole other kind of like
Just do your
ranking.
research.
100%. But like coming out with this a week or two prior to the FallOff, it just gave another example of like how much of a fan of hip hop he was. And then after we talk about the album, I do want to talk about that, just that specifically about Cole's relationship with hip hop. But as far as Birthday Blizzard 26, yeah, man, he went absolutely apeshit. Like the Victory freestyle and the Money, Power, and Respect, those two, I was absolutely blown away. And we knew that he could rap. It's just that we haven't heard it in a while.
You haven't heard him over shit like that though either.
Absolutely.
I mean, obviously you hear freestyles. I remember when he went up to
Flex.
the West Coast.
Oh,
Well, no, the West Coast. What's the West Coast station that they
Power
had?
106.
When he went up there and he was rapping over 93 till infinity and then still tipping. So you hear him over, but I have personally never heard him over those. Those are the beats that you only touch with intention. You know what you're about to do. And you gotta have a different set of fucking nuts to drag.
Different set of fucking balls.
Different set of fucking balls to go over those shits, because you know what it is. Those are rappers' beats right there.
What do you think about every track being a Bad Boy beat?
I didn't put that together until I heard it, and then I thought, yeah, Victory, the Can I Live is Black Rob,
Right.
and then Who Shot You, Money, Power, Respect.
And there was that rumor, or it might have been true, like a while ago, that J.Cole and Diddy, they had something in the
No,
club.
I think it was confirmed on Cole.
Right.
Cole confirmed it on one of those albums where he said, I bought this guy's album when I was 12. Who would have thought I would be fighting with him in the club? He said, I forget, the track was actually fire too, but he said it, he kind of confirmed it. But with guys like Cole and even Kendrick, there's always a level of intention.
So, okay.
There's always a
So
level.
what do you think it was? You think it was like, yo, watch me just fucking run circles around your beats? Like I could make the song hotter than you, I guess, maybe? Maybe that wasn't
Yeah,
intentional?
or like, given his situation and what he's going through, like, I don't know. I don't really know. I just know that there's something. It's not coincidence.
No, I feel you. I definitely feel you on that. I just wish, but some things with Cole, I wish that we knew. But, but yeah, no, man, the Birthday Blizzard mixtape, that was special, and it was another, like, indication of, not really an indication, it was just something else to get you hyped for the album. Okay, so talk to me.
And I think the clips might have distracted us, but Cole is one of the kings of the rollout too. Like he knows what he's doing. One other piece about that Clue tape that I liked is that you had the 4 tracks, and then you had the one full tape, because that's how this guy. It was different. That was fucking cool as fuck for him to do.
Yeah, no, when you listened to it, did you listen to it 1 through 4, or did you go straight to 5?
I went straight to the fucking.
That's fire.
That's the way to do it, man.
Fire. Okay, so now that we set up, hopefully we did a good job of setting up J. Cole's timeline up until the moment that the FallOff dropped. We finally get the album, The FallOff, and he's been hinting at it for a while. I forgot when exactly he posted that photo of like he had a whiteboard and he had all these different projects. I think it was the off season, it was the guest features, it was It's a Boy.
Which,
yeah, absolutely. And the FallOff was the very last thing, at the bottom of the whiteboard, and it was with the really big letters. So again, this is why there's a lot of indication that this might be his last project.
Right.
But going into this project, I'm gonna say what I took away from it. I hate to take someone else's take. I hate to steal it.
Yeah.
But the way Park said it on the Joe Budden podcast was really, really good. He said that this was a regional project and it was for North Carolina. It was for him and the project that he always wanted to do, and it was for North Carolina. And the more and more I kept listening to this project, getting ready for this podcast, yeah, it's true. Like, I wish that it was a little bit more. I always loved the Cole when he's like, fuck everybody, I'm going to show everybody that I can rap. But this album, there was intention behind it. It was a concept album. It was 2 discs. The first disc is him returning back home at 29, when he fairly recently achieved his dream.
Yeah.
And then the second disc is him returning back home at 39, where he's a real older statesman in the game. And he's just looking back on his experience and talking about his relationship with hip hop. So it's a concept album, and like off season, like he's just ripping shit, bro. He's reminding people that he could rap, and that project is one of my favorite projects of his. And this one, I don't want to say it's definitely not a bad album. I liked it, I enjoyed it. I was expecting something a little different, especially if this is kind of your last album.
Yeah.
But I'll build more on that, but talk to me. Tell me where your head's at.
Yeah, so to the point of it being a regional album, I don't know if I would necessarily deem it a regional album. I would deem it a personal album. This is something Cole did for himself, because you see a lot of his influences from throughout. You see there's some Aaliyah Timbaland bounce, there's the drop a gem on him flip, there is the references and homage to DMX with the, how's it going down.
Don't forget about I go with J.Lo.
J.Lo, I mean, listen.
Don't be fooled by the rocks that
He was fucking smoking that shit though. But so there was you just saw it was a personal album. I think coining it a regional term would think that we're getting like some Petey Pablo thing. Even though we did get a little the Petey Pablo flip and all that in there, I think that's part of his musical DNA as well. But I think this was an album that was very personal to Cole. And the artist that Cole is, it makes sense because it's always going to come back to, the origin. Like you, with the understanding that it was going to be his last album, never really works out that way. We'll see.
Right.
But I did expect some of the more broader topics to be touched. He touched on like a lot of personal stuff. He did a lot of storytelling this album. And I will say, I know in the last album he was rapping his ass off, and he was, because that was the era where he's coming off the guest verses. He's just smoking everything, moving. I thought this album, even though it, obviously you saw on the mix, the Clue tape, that he still raps just as well as anyone. This album, though, yes, it was concept, though, yes, it was storytelling, it showed an evolution of his pen that I was like, nah, he's on a different level still. Even though it's not the rappity rap, I think there's a part of that criticism that even got to him where, like, because he stepped away from the beef, he couldn't go back out at rappers' heads, but he was still going to rap his ass off. And he did that in the form of storytelling. That's the feel I got. It reminded me, and I feel like someone said this too, but, they did, no copyright infringement. A lot of it reminded me of Nas in a way. For good and for bad. Because there were areas of this album where rappers reach a certain point that, their life gets somewhat mundane, especially a guy like Cole, married, kids, likes to ride his bike, he likes peace, he's not really outside like that. And you have to get really abstract and really creative for songs, because the motivation from just life itself may not always be there. So he was drawing a lot from the hometown experiences growing up, which is cool for me. Where it went a little awry for me, like I still love her. I love her. You know, the common flip with the didn't particularly care for that. I thought that song, and so many people have tried it.
Right.
Understandably so. Just leave that alone. Common did that, right? I understand there's always new events in hip hop, so there's always a new rendition. Let that song be that song. It had its time. It came at an important time. And listen, it's his artistry, but it was just a little too creative. And then the Pac and Big record,
Get that the fuck out of here, bro. I'm sorry.
That had mixed reviews. As soon as I heard it, I was like, I can't do like.
Get that the fuck out of here, bro.
I cringed a bit. I couldn't handle it.
Like, oh man, Cole, like, we're not. We're just talking, man. We're giving our points of views, but like, it's not honestly. When I heard that, it wasn't even about like how he was rapping. What really irritated me is like, I don't want to hear this.
Like, but that's what I mean. Is like, I don't care for this. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care for the, and that's what I mean. Is like, sometimes these rappers, they want to get in a different creative bag because life itself doesn't do the inspiration anymore.
But it's just like, why are you putting that on this album? It's like, this is quote unquote your last album. Why do you feel that you need to talk about Pac and Big's murder and like the effect that it had on hip hop? Like why is Pac? I get it, Pac and Big, they're one of the biggest hip hop artists ever. I get it, and we don't know what could have happened if they were still alive and here with us. But like a part of me is like, yo, that it happened. Like we gotta move on,
right.
bro.
And that's the fact. But that's another. Like I said, like at the start of my rant. I'm sorry, TimeFlies listeners. I always do this shit. But the fact of the matter is, like this album, for better or worse, reminded me a lot of Nas. Storytelling and rapping ability, Nas. But the negative of that, Nas did have a lot of moments where he tried to get too abstract. I think of like the Hip Hop Is Dead album. He had a song on there. I forget what it was called, but he had like the James Cagney voice doing like hip hop, yeah. So like, but it's because these guys are so creative and they need an outlet to just let the creativity fly. So you get experimental. I just don't. Yeah, I'm not here for that. You rap well. Just put some shit over fire production because listen. I thought he was rapping very well.
No, absolutely. Speaking on Nas, if you guys are checking out this video, Mike and I, we actually did a review on Nas and DJ Premier's album called Lightyears. Go check that out. Link in the description. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. That'll be a big help. Going back to your point of Nas, another similarity, especially on this album, I believe Nas had a track called Rewind, where he's telling a story backwards. And if you want to call it the first single of this album, was the second track on this too, which is The FallOff Is Inevitable. And J.Cole is rapping backwards. The beginning point of the song is the ending point of his life. Going back to the beginning. The video's fire, but that goes hand in hand with what you're saying as far as like being creative and these guys are trying stuff. So that's another similarity between Nas and J.Cole. Is like they're going to try it.
They're going to try it, and they're going to try it on a large scale. Like they're not going to try it on a throwaway track or a mixtape. They're going to try it on their fucking album, and
some of it might hit.
The rhythm of it.
Some of it might not. I Give You Power. That fucking hit.
Stop.
It's one of the best concept tracks of all time. But yeah, just I guess if you want to say anything else about the Big Pac track,
the Big Pac track, I just want to move past. I want to move
get
on
that
from.
The fuck out of here.
But to go back to, I appreciate the personal element of this album. I really do. But I do. There's just certain lingering questions with Cole and his career because he always has been a low key guy that I wish we got answers to on this. Like honestly. And obviously, we'll talk more about this. There were shots decorated throughout the album, but I really wish, instead of making a whole track dedicated to fucking Pac and Big and what happened, make a dissertation of what happened with that fucking beef and why you didn't jump in. Let's hear something about that. I expected a little more introspection from that angle, and we got nothing of it. to that level, like on Quick Stop when he starts like raising his octave and he's like, you know, having this moment of reflection where he's like, yo, you gotta remember what you do and I thought that he was gonna get in the bag there. He didn't though.
It was just a story about him.
But I know that's another one that got met with mixed reviews. I like that song.
No, me too. The thing is with Cole is that like I feel like a lot of this album is like we kind of knew this about Cole. Like we knew that he had a struggle with fame. We knew that he had a struggle of going back home and not being the same Jermaine Cole. It's not gonna be the same. So we and he sprinkled this throughout his whole career about the relationship with fame, relationship with being the best in whatever genre you're in. Yeah. Like we knew about this, and then this is a complete totality of a project really talking about it. And for me, that's what kind of frustrated me. It's like I enjoy the storytelling that you're giving us and the specific examples that you're giving us, but like I kind of knew this already about you, which is why I think you and me and a lot of Cole's fans were a little frustrated because we want a little bit more information about the beef, about you, Kendrick, and Drake, and that the triple threat friendship that you guys had, and specifically with Cole and Drake, because there's some funny stuff going on.
Shit I've heard too.
I don't know if you saw. There's a clip going around with Maul where he's kind of going crazy and being like, "Yo, I need to know why you cut off Drake. I need to know why Drake put you on, and all of a sudden, like you're not talking to him at all." And for as much as us, the general audience, as much as we know. They were cool, they were boys.
But I sense that something was weird with that too, because don't you remember on Drake's Family Matter tracks, he said something funny about, you know, I don't lose sleep over this shit, maybe Cole. Like, there was something in that realm, I forget the exact bar, but it was kind of like a bar that let me know he didn't appreciate J.Cole backing off from this, like,
Family Matters? What track is that? Where's that from?
Where the 3 beats switch up. Where in the video the crushing.
Oh, the fucking diss? Yeah, okay.
So but
that is some of Drake's best rapping, by the way.
That's his
second verse.
Even though Kendrick was victorious in terms of strategy, that was probably my favorite song that came from that beef.
Every time we talk about that, I just remember you saying, it's like, yo, that might have been the biggest L.
Yeah, that's
anybody has ever taken.
Ja took a pretty big L, like, but
who's worse, Ja or Drake?
Ja, bro, you don't. Drake can still Ja. People, unless you were there, you don't understand. Which we were there. Ja literally got wiped off. Ja couldn't do anything.
That's a fact.
He couldn't do anything. It was almost sad. But shout out to Ja, big queens. But
did you see that video that just posted of him on the airplane?
Yeah.
Sitting next to Tony Yayo.
That's some crazy shit.
Yo, there's like always something going on.
You know what's crazy?
Bro.
And shout out to Kadeem.
Hey, Kadeem, what up, boy?
He texted me that, and I said it as I was watching. He sent me the clip, and as I'm watching it, I'm like, yo, we're in our mid-30s. These guys have been beefing since we were 12. That is fucking nuts. But I digress. Right. One other thing with the Cole, because we expected more introspection from the Kendrick, Drake, Cole Big Three situation. Another thing I wanted to know, and I personally always wondered about, what went wrong with Cole and Jay-Z. What happened? Because something happened there. That wasn't just like business, we split. Something happened there that we don't know. And I thought we might get some insinuations of it, something.
We got nothing, bro.
Shit.
We got nothing on nothing, bro.
Shit.
Yeah, no, that's another big talking point.
I always wondered about that. Because once Cole grew his dreads out, Rock Nation, Jay-Z, they were in the back somewhere. I don't really know what happened, but I can see how the two prototypes of a J.Cole and a Jay-Z don't align either. But whatever, that's all hypothetical.
I mean, hopefully one day we actually get the answer. But I do want to go back to the Drake and J.Cole relationship, because one of my favorite tracks, I'm pulling up the lyrics right now, one of my favorite tracks on the album is the first track on the second disc, 39 intro. The second half of that song, Cole is ripping shit, bro. He's going crazy. But the exact lyrics, it's a direct shot at Drake. You want me to rap it, bro? Because I can rap it.
Rap it right now.
I can rap it.
For the TimeFlies audience.
Hold on, give me a second. I gotta get the... Let me play like 2 seconds of it, because I gotta get the cadence. Give me a second.
Said it, yo!
Here we go. Yo, this is the only time you're gonna get me rapping, and it's only because I can read the lyrics.
Exclusive.
I'm dead. I'm pleased to report, after many attempts, I climbed out from the mouth of the gritty abyss, the anatomy of an idiot. Who witty is this? My mind frame has been tamed with Nvidia chips. My rhymes are like shrines for the city I miss. Where in time I found beauty in the hideousness. My tongue can set fire to some, inspire the young, or put a hickey on the titty of the prettiest bitch. I'm number one, you getting the gist. Anything lower, you better reconsider your list. Play my song when I'm gone. I'm a style, be a myth. If even God gonna wonder how the fuck did he exist? I mean, could he have just slipped through the cracks? Ain't let a nigga into heaven, so I went through the back. And when I entered, I saw an old friend that I dabbed. He said, please, nigga, kick one of the infinite raps. Okay, I flip on tracks, long as the beat is on fire. My grip on rap, stronger than needle nose pies. So kick on back and enjoy the fresh sound. The best round of black getting rich off rap. I'm from the town where they zip raw packs. We never seen a trampoline put a brick. You could flip off that. Well, damn, try to compete, but they just fall flat. A lot of these weak niggas pick where I lip off at. I never trick off racks. I stack what I attract. The money talks to me and they lack the dialect to reply back. As I crack the fire act, light reflects when the half-black messiah raps. Fayetteville, where they strap like Iraq. The knocks in the trap with an act to hire rats. A man dead cause the feds slapped the wide tap. His dog had his back, so they whacked the chiropractic. Chemically imbalanced, dripping style in gallons. I write screams in my dreams just for the challenge. Woke up in ice cold sweats cause the cold flows I chose next. I like both sets of both flex. Hold your breath for the pros I profess. Cold to go, fresh like a juice that's cold pressed. No rest to those who oppose, I don't stress. Cold to go, fresh like a juice that's cold pressed. No rest to those who oppose, I don't stress. Rap niggas gotta be in vogue to pose threats. What was the marketing campaign with Drake and 21 when they did that album? That's a direct shot, bro. That's a direct shot at Drake. And I mean, part of me, I just wanted to rap. You feel me? Yo, Rock Nation signed me, you heard? But yeah, when I heard that, I was like, yeah, there should be no like. There shouldn't be no funny business around. Like, yeah, that's a direct shot at Drake.
I wish you would have gotten more.
Oh, that rapping?
Well,
what?
no, well,
the
but just like a little more insight, even if it is, because us being the listeners we're gonna catch those. We're gonna catch those. We're gonna appreciate those. I wish there was a little more of that. Even though you got a few here and there, but yeah.
You don't like I Love Her Again?
Nah.
Nah?
It, not to go back. Obviously you shouted out the Nas and Premier episode, but one of the topics we covered is, if there's a benchmark on something, whether it's, Mobb Deep or Nas, there's certain heights that can never be eclipsed for me personally, right? I Used to Love Her is something Common did. It's, in my opinion, a monumental hip-hop track, the way he personified hip-hop as a woman.
No, 100%.
And yeah, it's just anyone who comes after that, it doesn't have the same effect for me. Like and once again, I was partially already bothered by that point in the album because we're getting that either right before or right after the Pac and Big track.
This right
and
before it.
I'm like, because I enjoyed the album sonically. I thought he was rapping well, but I knew that I wasn't getting the information that I wanted or what I thought I was going to get out of the album in terms of what pocket he was really going to go into. And so I hear that and I'm like, I don't want to hear this shit. I want to hear you talk about shit that fucking, the real shit. But,
I feel you.
So that's kind of, that might be a track. The Pac and Big thing will never happen for me, but that might be a track where I might be just riding around listening to it. It might come on and it might hit me a little differently when I'm just listening to it. But in that moment when I first heard it, and even on a couple of other listens since, it's like, I don't know.
No, so that's a perfect segue into one of the tracks that I didn't like on first couple listens, but like the more I've been listening to it, that actually came around, is on the second disc, Only You with Burna Boy.
Yeah.
That shit grew on me, pause. I don't know, like the first, because the song right before that is Life Sentence, and he's talking about his girl, his wife. Yeah. And then the one right after that is Only You. So those two tracks right back to back, it's like
I don't really. It's like the love segment.
Exactly.
I don't want to hear.
I didn't like it.
Love segment.
Exactly. I didn't like it at all. But for some reason, Only You. The more I heard it, I was like, and Burna Boy kills it. The more I heard it, I was like, okay, like, yeah, it's still like a lovey-dovey song, but I just like it more.
Yeah.
Is there a song that happened to you that on first listen you were like, but you've come around to it?
Yes. So, actually, Man Up Above was a track that, at first, when I first heard it, I wasn't crazy about it. Okay. And then, I literally, leaving song came on, and he was he was really in smoking shit. And that's where I think that's where he hit the J.Lo flow, no? At first I was like, I wasn't crazy about it. He was rapping, big man with range like Nas Reed. Like he was going, but I heard it and I was like, nah, this shit goes. And that literally just occurred to me at this point an hour ago maybe. I was like, nah, I fuck with this song. Like,
love it. All right. Do you have a favorite?
So naturally I wanted to say the Bounce House Blues produced by and I like the future touches throughout the album too, by the way. There's a couple of future touches and I like the placement.
He's
Thames on Alchemist is cool, but
he's on Run a Train, which is the 4th track on the first disc, and then he's on Bunsey Blues, and that's produced by Alchemist. It's Thames and Future. But you said that's your answer, or
no. I said I wanted to say that because it's Uncle Al, it's Cole, and everything, and it's definitely up there. But for me, mad random. Something about that Bombs in the Ville track.
Really?
And that's the one with the Timbaland and Aaliyah type bounce. There's something about the way he harmonized and then he raps it towards the end.
Really?
But that track is the one that I've gone back to a few times, just ISO.
That's what's amazing about music, bro. It's like you like it was like I didn't have that. Like it's a cool song, but I didn't have that.
I fuck with that song.
I love that. My favorite is Bunsey Road Blues.
Yeah, that shit is fucking ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. And Thames goes
she
off.
Yeah, I remember I was listening to that album at 6 in the morning as I was getting up, and I remember I'm going through it and I hear that. Was that Thames? Like, cause I didn't look at the features or nothing, and I was like, damn, she was going for it too. So
sounding beautiful.
That song was fucking ridiculous.
So Bunsey Road Blues is definitely my number one, but there's like a couple in contention. Like it's not just a clear cut number one.
2-6.
Nah, you know what's interesting is 2-6 and Safety, which is the 2nd track of the first disc and the 3rd track. Like I like them. They're cool, but like it's just like okay, it's cool.
Safety reminds me of old Cole. Safety reminds me of like Come Up era Cole.
And he's rapping, and it's what I want to hear. He's rapping, but I don't know. Like I didn't like it. I didn't like it as much as I thought I would like it after hearing it a few times.
Poor Thing.
Poor Thing is good. I like Poor Thing, but another one that's in strong contention. Lonely at the Top.
Yes.
Fire.
You recognize the sample? Think Benny the Butcher, Tana Talk 3.
He posted about it, didn't he? I think he posted it. He was like, yo.
I heard it, I was like, it took me a couple of seconds because at first I was like, where's this sample from? For a second I thought it was Throwback by Usher.
Ooh.
And then I was like, but you see like the lineage? But then I said, no, there's something. And then it hit me. And I heard Benny, it was the intro, I forget the name of this actual song, but it's the intro of Tana Talk 3.
He did post about it. He posted. He's basically thanking J.Cole for sampling him. I forgot the name and I forgot that he made that post. But awesome. Okay, Tana Talk 3. I did not notice that. Good shit, boy. Big facts. But Lonely at the Top, it's interesting because it's the last track off the first disc. And the first disc, if you remember, like we said earlier in this pod, conceptually, it's him going back home when he's at the age of 29.
Right.
I thought Lonely at the Top would be better at the end of the 2nd disc. Because he's had a full career.
Yeah.
He's looking back on his career and he's talking about what it's like to be at the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
And just what he had to do in order to keep climbing and realizing that being at the top is not what he expected it to be. I like his cadence, I like his flow, the beat, but see, I'm a little bit of a hypocrite because earlier I said that a lot of the things that he was talking about the album we kind of knew already as a Cole fan, but with this particular track, we already knew how he felt about being the best in the game.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I like the song. Yeah. So I'm a little bit of a hypocrite, whatever, I don't give a fuck.
It's subjective, it's music, it's art, so you're allowed to, fluctuate and be a human being.
Yeah, I like that. I like that one.
Yeah, and I agree with your point of view in terms of it might have fit better at the far end. I thought, not to get too far off topic, I thought the first disc was exponentially better than the second. personally.
Ask you that. Okay. Exponentially, huh?
Yeah. Because I feel like I could listen to the first side really without skipping anything. There wasn't really anything that I was like, I gotta get off this. Whereas the second disc is where you have Love a Dub Dub Cole with those two fucking tracks, Life Sentence and Only You. And then you have the Common tribute and the Pac and Big shit. And I also didn't like, I guess that's what brought me to, I Feel You on that Lonely at the Top, because I didn't like the way it ended on the second disc. I wasn't really huge. Yeah. This album, I feel like, would have been a lot better if it was just narrowed down. If it was just cut down. Like a lot of albums we talk about these days. You cut some of the fat out, and I think this would have been something more so. I thought it was a good album, but...
No, and that's another talking point as far as like double disc albums. When you talk about when you talk about the history of double disc, we got Tupac, we got Big, we got, help me out here.
The most monumental is the Pac, the All Eyes on Me,
right.
Big, Life After Death,
right.
Wu-Tang is Forever.
Wu-Tang Forever. So, I feel like, well, I'm not sure. Maybe you could answer this for me or have a better understanding of this than me. I know that Biggie and Pac, I know those two albums, I know that it's considered a classic, right? But the Wu-Tang, is that double disc album considered a classic, or is a conversation like this, if a few tracks were stripped down, that would have been a classic? Or is it kind of like a general consensus classic?
So I think, I would, for some reason I get the general feel, to me personally, I'll answer from a personal perspective first. I like the Wu-Tang Forever album. To me, it is a classic because that's them after the fame with all their styles like refined coming into the album. I can't really think of any tracks off top that could have been removed that it would have been, but the Wu Faithful, which are equivalent in the rock world to like Grateful Dead Faithful, will always swear by 36 Chambers because that's the holy grail, which always makes it hard for the following act, whether you're Nas with Illmatic. So I think that may kind of overshadow the greatness of Wu-Tang Forever. I would say that it is a classic, and I would go as far to say the general consensus is that it's a classic. Okay. Especially because it's Wu-Tang in the era of the shiny suits and the the bad boy reign. So I think it was after that point that the Wu-Tang albums went. Yeah,
a little bit by the wayside. But double disc albums, that's always going to be a talking point. Like, you have a lot to live up to. And with this album in particular, people are saying that if you took some songs off, this could have been a classic. Like you said, if you stripped down a few songs. But it's interesting that you said this one, for you personally, is that's a big word. Yeah. Exponentially better. So, okay, I wanted to ask this. The first 4 tracks off of each side. Yeah. So this 29, this one, is the 29 intro, where it's the Carolina, who sings that?
Yeah, I forget his name.
Damn. It's a nice song though. It's like, Carolina.
Yeah.
I forgot the name. I just saw a video. I want to say Bob Myers, but that's the fucking...
No, it's something...
That was the GM of the Golden State Warriors. So anyway, 29 intro is the first track. You got 2-6.
I fuck with it.
Yeah. You got Safety.
I like that too.
And you got one of my favorite songs, Run a Train, with J.Cole and Future. Well, I want to talk about that. But, okay, so those are the first 4 songs off the first disc. Second disc, 39 intro. The second half of that track, he's going absolutely apeshit. And you got the FallOff is Inevitable, which I think we both really like that song. You got the Villas, which we didn't talk about yet, which is with Erykah Badu, and it's a Mobb Deep sample. Do you like that song? Love it. And then the fourth one, we talked about it kind of a little earlier. It's Old Dog with P.D. Pablo.
Yeah, I fuck with Old Dog. See, and if you're looking at the first 4 tracks of each, that second disc is looking real good.
That's where I'm leaning. I like the second disc opening 4 tracks more than this one.
It's the other half.
For you.
It's the other half of, because in the grand scheme of things, I look at where kind of the consistency is. For me, consistently I listen through the first disc. The second disc has high points. Even for me, one of my favorites, and it whatever. I love the Quick Stop joint just because of the music. I just love the way he kind of. It was like open landscape for him to just go. But then, yeah, they were just like I said, you know, not to sound like a broken record. I don't care for the lovey-dove Cole. I don't care for the abstract, creative Cole, which that's 4 tracks on that side.
Yeah.
No good for me.
I feel you.
And then I wasn't crazy about the way he ended off the second with
Ocean.
Yeah.
Ocean Way. Yeah, I don't like it either. Maybe one of the last things, if you have anything else, obviously bring it up. But one of the last things I want to talk about is Future's appearance in this album. 2 tracks. Yeah, very interesting. 2 tracks. We talked about Bunsey Road Blues, where he's only adding a hook, I think, or chorus. So on both tracks, he's only adding a hook.
But I like what Cole did there. Cole put 1 verse on, and then he let Future and he let Thames go.
Absolutely. But what I'm trying to say is that, like, perfectly placed.
Yeah. You gonna tie Drake to this?
No, not at all. No, not at all. I was just like, when did we hear, besides that one feature that he had, Red Leather, on that album?
Yeah.
Did we have Cole and Future moments? No, right?
Moments, no. But I feel like I'm gonna say that there was nothing, and then we're gonna stumble upon something from like 2012 or 2013 that they were on together.
I'm trying to think. I can't.
And it obviously didn't leave enough of a mark for us to recall right now.
Right.
I feel like there is something else out there. I could be wrong, but I feel like somewhere in that era of like 2012 to 2014, there's Cole and Future on a track.
And also maybe, well, I don't know about Bunsey Road Blues, but maybe Run a Train was recorded during the We Don't Trust You sessions.
Yeah, could
maybe. So maybe that's a leftover, and it's a fucking amazing leftover, if you ask me. One track that I do kind of want to get your opinion on is And the Whole World Is a Ville. It's the second to last song on the second disc. Fayetteville. I definitely spelled that wrong, but I don't give a fuck. I don't know. Do you want to give your 2 cents? I liked it.
I thought it was cool.
Damn, so that second disc, you're just like,
you know,
I'm good.
Like, no, because it wasn't, you know, it's not something that it's like, all right, we got to get this off. But when I hear it, I hear the beat, sample's cool. I mean, I don't need to hear you spelling out Fayetteville. But,
F-A-Y-E. Okay.
It's cool, though.
Okay, thank God I remember this, because I was going to wrap up the episode, but thank God I remember this. Okay, so, we got the album. The FallOff, quote unquote, his last album. But Cole has been on a rollout, if you will, talking about the album. And something that I saw online was he responded to a fan. I don't know if it was an Instagram post in the comments or, oh no, you know what I think it was? He set up a website for the FallOff, and it was like a messaging board, I think it was, that he set up for the album, where people could just go and post shit up. And I think that's where he responded. He basically said that this is going to be for all intents and purposes, this is going to be the last J.Cole album.
Yeah.
But he's still going to be around producing for other artists, and one of his goals is to help the artists succeed in his vision or her vision. So he's going to be a lot more behind the scenes. But as far as the J.Cole album, this is the last one for all intents and purposes. Also, we kind of hinted at it at the beginning of this pod when we were talking about the whiteboard and what he was writing on. One of the projects is called It's a Boy, and it was I think it was in a response to a fan in a comment somewhere, and he responded saying that it's going to come out, but he didn't want it to come out because there was just too much music at the time. Yeah, with the Birthday Blizzard, with this album, he wants to give it his own space and its own time. So he said that it's still going to come out. It's going to be later. So basically, I don't know. It's Cole is going to be around, but like he's not going to be around. I don't know if you will. Besides that project, I guess.
Yeah, I don't put too much thought into this anymore when rappers say that because we do these think pieces of like, yo, so what happens now? And then 3 years later, oh, there's another Cole album coming. Like,
but the thing with Cole is that I can see it, cause like,
he loves rap too much.
Yeah, you're right. He loves rap too much, but he hates what comes with rap.
So he could do shit like those Clue tapes, like he's going to the bathroom. And that's the type of shit I could see him doing, dropping 5-track EPs of him just, I want to rap today, and him just blacking out over something. Like I could see that. Obviously, he's gonna pop up on a JID album. I don't personally think it's his last album. Might be the last album for a while, and I don't think he's gonna go completely silent. I think we're gonna get Cole, whether it's like I said, random tracks here and there. The guy, as he hates fame, so he's backing up over that portion of it. I always think of, there's a Dennis Rodman quote where he said, "I'll play the game for free. It's the bullshit that you get paid for."
It was in The Last Dance.
Yeah, and that's what Cole kind of emulates in the way like that he's going. So he loves rap. I feel like he might back up off the spotlight, but he can't stop.
The project, It's a Boy, I feel like it's gonna be like a sequel to For Your Eyes Only.
That's what I heard. I remember when the whiteboard came out, they saw that was the speculation around it. And For Your Eyes Only.
I only heard it a couple of times. No offense, Cole. That was definitely another personal project, so no offense. But thank God I remember this. So yeah, J.Cole said this is the last J.Cole album. But do you remember on KOD, he had a song.
My favorite Cole album, by the way.
Really? Interesting. He had a song on KOD. I forgot what was the name of the song, but it said featured Killed Edward.
Yeah.
Killed Edward is J.Cole rapping, but under another moniker. So I'm wondering.
Please don't do that to us.
What?
Please don't give us Kill Edward projects. With that fucking.
I'm not saying it's gonna be killed. Yeah. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be Kill Edward. But what if he comes out under another rap name? We don't know if it's him. That could happen.
Like MF Doom with the mask on.
No. Yeah, just a completely.
Yeah, no, you just wouldn't.
A fucking rapper by the name of Shy Glizzy.
Yeah, like.
Who's the actual rapper? Wrong, bad example, but whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like maybe he could do that. So that's a possibility. But yeah, that whole Kill Edward thing. I do remember when that album came out. I remember him talking about it, and he said that like. He wanted to explore that, and we got nothing from it, obviously.
Yeah, I remember him saying that too. And I love that album. I do. I love KOD.
Interesting.
It really, like, mixtape is probably a different conversation because I think my favorite, not to start a whole new conversation, but my favorite Cole project, because music is like timestamps in our fucking life. My favorite Cole project is probably Friday Night Lights. But that's technically considered a mixtape.
Correct.
The albums, though. Something about that
huh?
KOD just did something. I don't know what the fuck it was, but that shit hit differently for me.
I love the biggest thing that I remember from KOD is I gotta listen to the album again, but the biggest thing I remember is the last track, which is a diss at Lil Pump, and he literally predicted what was gonna happen at Lil Pump, and it fucking happened.
FallOff, 1985, I think it was.
Yeah, the intro to the FallOff is I think it's 1985, but that track he's like, yo, you're not gonna be around in 2 years, and it literally happened. It's fucking crazy.
And he was talking to all those dudes in there, because that was 2018.
Right. Yeah.
That was peak SoundCloud era. That was up here. After that point, it all started to go down. Then you had a few people who stuck around. You had your Yachty's.
Right.
And like, I guess
Uzi. I don't know.
Uzi, 6ix9ine even.
Oh right.
Kind of stuck around for a little bit.
Damn, KOD's your favorite, huh? Interesting.
Yeah.
My favorite is Born Sinner.
Born Sinner was a good one. Born Sinner, I feel like that was where Cole, whatever was happening, the Cole and Jay-Z split happened at Born Sinner. But that was the album that Cole wanted to make, and that was the first step in the trajectory of Cole, because the Sideline Story was not that.
It wasn't bad. It just wasn't what we.
There was songs from 2009 on there. I mean, they were already 2 or 3 years old by that point.
I like Sideline Story, but I understand.
It wasn't the debut album that he needed.
Yeah, and especially the debut album that he wanted Nas to
Yeah.
feel like.
Bro, Let Nas Down was fire.
You still get shit over that song, bro.
I like that song.
I mean, of course you do. You're a Nas aficionado. But no, I like Born Sinner because you saw the evolution and you saw that next step that he took. And again, coming off of Sideline Story, that one was fire, bro.
That was.
I love that album, bro.
That was an interesting summer for music. That was what, summer 2013.
I think so. Yeah. And I remember hearing it, and I'm like, oh man, like I like this. I like the step that he's taking.
He was just rapping.
Absolutely. Yo, Cole, there you go. You got it. From the best podcast in the game.
Yeah, you like doing random shit, Cole. Just pop up on the TimeFlies podcast.
Yo, deadass, I DM'd him, and I was like, I DM'd him, Ibrahim, and I was like, yo, man. The reason why I DM'd him was because he posted something else. He said the 1-day review of albums is killing hip hop because everybody's doing 20 half hour later. Fucking annoying. So then I DM'd him and Ibrahim, and I was like, yo, my boy and I, we're gonna do a podcast next week because when I like all these other podcasters, we're gonna listen to it. I mean, obviously, I didn't get anything back.
Alright,
you gotta try, man. But yeah, Cole, there you go, bro. There's our take of the album. Hopefully you don't retire. Hopefully we get more music and just more creativity from you. Alright, so as far as time flies, you guys can, first and foremost, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. The YouTube is growing a little slower than I would like, but we're still making it happen. So if you can hit that subscribe button, that'll be a really big help. The link for all the social media will be in the description below. Instagram, Twitter. Instagram, timeflies.1221. Everything else, Twitter, TikTok, timeflies1221 without the dot. But until next time, my guy Mike, always thank you so much for joining me on this episode. Appreciate you hearing your input on hip hop. And again, if you guys are tuning in for the first time, this guy is the music encyclopedia, aka the hip hop encyclopedia, aka the Nas aficionado. It's my guy right here. But until next time, we'll check you out on the next episode. Peace.